CJ, and these are my two best friends. We're on a mission to get the max out of middle school.
Cool.
This is our time to get crazy and live life. We all agreed to do 100 awesome things.
I'm nervous.
Gentlemen, we are starting a garage band.
Rock and roll! Let's do it!
Be a fairy godmother.
We're dudes.
Okay, then be fairy god dudes.
We're gonna need wands.
Say yes to everything for an entire school day.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you enjoying the power of...
Yes. 1, 2, 3. It's a brand new day. No matter what they say. We created this list so we'll enjoy our middle school years, not fear them.
100 Things to Do Before High School, the brand new series. Saturday, June 6th on Nick.
So you're gonna put it on the list?
In the spirit.
100 Things to Do Before High School was a sitcom on Nickelodeon from 2014. So I've never heard of this show. I only discovered it from seeing a clip of one of the actors talking about it.
I was also on Nickelodeon.
Yes.
But my show was not as successful. It lasted one season.
After watching a few episodes, I thought it was pretty good. Looking into this, I've seen some people consider this show to be the successor to Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Results may vary. Or at least a type of unofficial reboot. Both shows were created by Scott Fellows, so they're at least related in that regard. I liked Ned Declassified growing up. It was a great show. It was one of the funnier shows outside of the Snyder bubble, and oddly helpful at times. Even though their podcast about the show has made going back and watching older episodes kind of weird.
BJ.
I get we're all grown, consenting adults, but I just wanted to hear about the old days. I didn't need to hear about you sucking dick. It manages to be a fun sitcom while also providing some genuine good tips that some of you even use yourselves. I remember using the note-taking strat.
Copy your notes in a second notebook. The act of rewriting helps you retain info and learn.
I tried this for a couple classes, but I eventually turned it into another notebook filled with ideas, sitcom crossovers, doodles, sketch ideas, etc. This is also one of those shows that started with a TV movie of the same name. This is where we meet our main trio, and with the fear of growing up and growing apart, they decide to make the most out of their middle school years. I'm kinda surprised at how long it lasted. With a veteran like Scott Fellows at the helm, I thought this would have been another hit for the network, spanning at least 4 seasons. So let's find out exactly what was 100 Things to Do Before High School. The show takes place at Pootertuck Middle School, where our leads, CJ, Christian, also referred to as Crispo, and Fenwick tackle every day with a new thing to experience or conquer. From the first episode, I could already get this nostalgic feeling. It has a very similar vibe to Ned Declassified. Scott Fellows definitely has a signature style and sound, and though I've seen people compare the two shows, this is a different case than, say, How to Rock versus Victorious. This isn't the case of one biting the other's style, rather, it's all indicative of the creator's style. You wouldn't say that Danny Phantom is a ripoff of Fairly Odd Parents because the characters look similar. To that point, the show takes on its own identity, and it starts with a theme song.
It's a brand new day. No matter what they say. You shine until you turn around and blast the past away.
It sets the tone for the show very well. It's kind of a bop, and there's this plucky banjo that comes in usually at the beginning of the episode that's just so damn soothing. Like, I can't explain it. There's also this piano riff that plays in the background that gives this show a cozy vibe. The chemistry of the main trio was pretty good. I like that, though CJ was the main one creating the things, the whole group had a say, and even the guys came up with their own things some episodes. Some of them are what you'd expect. They had episodes on making new friends, school fashion, school clubs, class president, science fairs. Let me know in the comments, did any of y'all have a science fair? That wasn't a thing in my school, and I'm not sure if it was because of financial reasons or they just didn't trust us. My school got banned from an arcade because one of the students fought the mascot. Yeah, real spill. They had an episode about meeting your idols. Crispo wanted to meet Olympic snowboarder superstar Louis Vito. Who? Fenwick wanted to meet Neil deGrasse Tyson because of course he did, and CJ wanted to meet her celebrity crush, Anthony Del Rey, played by Anthony De La Torre. Speaking of cameos, the homie Darren Norris shows up for a few episodes, funnily enough as a janitor, though he's nothing like Gordy.
The Solo water fountain isn't working again.
What's wrong with it?
I can't tell.
Oh, you can tell me. I'm a janitor.
They had episodes on electives, home ec, lunchroom seats, taking care of an animal, or in this case, a sack of flour.
If you take care of this bag of flour like it was a baby for 24 hours without destroying it, you can have a guinea pig.
This turns into a wager between them, seeing who can keep the sack alive the longest. This was a solid episode. I love a good wager or bet episode. I'm out. Like in Zoe 101, where Chase and the guys couldn't say words with the letter S. Or the episode where Keenan bet Kel that he couldn't go a day without orange soda.
So Kel won't be tempted, why don't we pour this whole bottle of sweet, bubbly orange goodness right down the drain?
Also, in this episode, the mom said that she's making her famous chocolate chip and potato chip cookies.
Hey, tomorrow after school, after I drop off my famous chocolate and potato chip cookies for the bake sale.
Apparently, this is real. At first I was grossed out, but now I kinda wanna try it. The sick day episode was pretty good. I like that it showed 3 different experiences for a sick day. CJ was sick but still having fun at home, Fenwick was sick but refused to miss a day, and Crispo was arguably the sickest but was forced to go to school anyway.
Fen was getting the most out of his sick day by going to school from bed. Crispo, on the other hand, has parents that make him go to school no matter how sick he is.
Me and Crispo the same. I had to practically be dying to get a sick day. And even then, that wouldn't be enough. They would just give me some ginger ale and some crackers and send me to school anyway. Another solid episode was about fear. Everyone had to pick a fear to conquer, and some had more than others.
Why do you assume that I'm afraid of anything? Because you have a fear book. Doesn't everyone? No.
In addition to these, there were also some unconventional ones, like being fairy godparents.
Be like no other. For the thing they would do is be a fairy godmother.
I can't help but feel that this is a nod to when Ned Declassified did the same thing.
How about we help out Secret Agent Ned?
Except here, they talk. In 100 Things, it's only Wanda and she doesn't say a word. They had a superhero themed episode. You can catch CJ watching an episode of the Thundermans. The goal was to find their superpower or something that made them special. In this episode, Crispo tries to figure out his power, but they all tell him essentially it's pretty privilege.
Look at those girls. Now, smile. Not a lot of people can do that.
But I don't want to be handsome.
Yes, you do.
Personally, I've always wanted Static's powers, or just something in electricity. I've always had an affinity for electric powers. It's my favorite Pokemon type, my favorite Pokemon being Electivire. I main Raiden in Mortal Kombat because of it, and a bunch of my favorite characters have electric abilities. But unfortunately, all I can do is teleport. We don't drive in this world. This is how we get around. I feel the topics in 100 Things are taken a bit more seriously than Ned Declassified, or at least they're given more room to breathe, if that makes sense. One episode in particular I personally connected with. Crispo is struggling in school, and one of the reasons is that he refuses to raise his hand. So CJ says today's thing is raising your hand. CJ is the first to do it, which results in her giving a tour to some 5th graders. Alright, I'm gonna play a game with you all. Guess the names of these kids. I'll give you like 10 seconds to guess. If you guessed William, Mary, and Devon, you're racist, because their names are actually Bert, Gert, and Julio. Throughout the episode, we see Crispo try and fail to raise his hand and ask a question.
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Powers? what the hell you looking at?
Nah, it's really like that. Everybody breaking their necks to look at you, just waiting to see a nigga fail. I relate to this because math didn't come easily to me. I often felt stupid because everyone seemed to grasp it while I was the only one with questions. I wouldn't say that I had a fear of raising my hand, rather I had a fear of looking stupid. Luckily for me, my fear of my parents was greater. Also, to add to this, you know what else made it worse? I kinda get it. Like, I see the other side, because when it was in a class that I was good at, I used to hate when people would raise their hands last minute. Like, come on bro, let's move on man, I'm trying to go to lunch. With a looming pop quiz, the teacher gives the class one more chance to ask a question. And finally, Crispo raises his hand. And nobody cared. Nobody thought he was stupid because everyone else also had questions on the quiz, leading into a pretty dope moment and the ultimate lesson of the episode.
Is there anyone else besides Mr. Powers who is brave enough to admit they need help with the lesson?
This show is also funnier than I expected. It's still classic Foster, but a bit snappier.
Conquer one fear, the others will seem a lot less scary, and you will feel invincible. Now, this is where I wish our story ended. But right after this, Fenwick tripped, causing a huge bear crash, and the team had to forfeit the next 3 games.
Say anything, and I'll flick your ears until they fall off and you'll have to go to that operating place with doctors.
A hospital?
Raise your hand if you have any questions about middle school.
You don't have power over us.
Okay, didn't raise your hand, and not a question.
You gotta clamp it. No, that's obviously you know how to do this. You know how to do it. We're sure this is the best club for enlightening our brains or expanding our social circle.
We're just being responsible! And what about my responsibility for making Moscow toe cakes for bake sale? America children always dressing like spies and wanting guinea pigs.
This is so not over.
Nuts!
Everyone's gonna be blown away by this project.
You didn't load it, did you?
Citywide panic ended when SWAT teams discovered the senior center was not under missile attack, but simply hit by a science fair project accidentally fired from Punatuck Middle School.
Well, Michelle, I don't see any trophies in that kid's future.
Yeah, this show is pretty solid, especially for its first season. Y'all might have been onto something calling it Ned's successor. Too bad Nick didn't feel the same way.
You're watching 100 Things to Do Before High School, this series. Keep it here.
The cast is one of the show's best assets to me. CJ is the glue that holds the group together. She's supportive, encouraging, and pretty innovative. It's impressive how she pulls off some of these things. It's still in the realm of a wacky sitcom, yet it feels practical, if that makes sense. Like in the Leave Your Mark episode. So there's this gum wall at the school that all the kids like, but a teacher's trying to get rid of it.
It's got school board approval to remove this disgusting, germ-filled wall of disgust.
And instead of going to war with the teacher or doing some espionage shit, she just pled her case on what the wall meant to everybody.
I thought you might like to see all the hopes and wishes that are up there before you take them down.
I wish I could get my brother the skateboard he wants. I wish there were no wars in the world.
I like that her family is just as into the things she does as the guys are. This element adds to the fun of the show. Everyone being so invested makes you become invested. Also, something else about the parents, there's an episode where they can't lie for a full day, but CJ does anyway. And it gets so big that it makes local news.
Performance for a very sick grandma.
I just know that the grandma's looking forward to the show.
Ultimately, her parents find out and she tells them what happened. And instead of allowing her to take the L and learn her lesson, instead, they cover for her. This kinda surprised me. Usually, the lesson is that lying is bad, which to be fair, they still do. She gets her comeuppance at the end, but they also take a second to add a bit of nuance to the lesson, with Mr. Roberts providing context and examples of why somebody would lie.
Okay, I give up. When do I lie and when do I not lie?
It's not always easy to determine, but a good way to tell is to ask yourself, will my honesty hurt someone's feelings? And if the answer is yes, then telling a little white lie is actually a pretty cool thing to do.
I don't know, I found this conclusion to be kind of interesting for a kid's show. Isabella Merced gives a solid performance. She's very expressive and energetic. Some of these facial expressions were kind of funny. Also, isn't it kind of wild that she played both Dora and Hawk Girl? She was also in Madam Web, but we ain't gotta talk about that. She plays off the guys pretty well. She's a diehard friend, sacrificing her own gain for theirs, and they do the same. Like the time she got stuck in her crush's locker, long story, and they came through with a distraction. She can still be doing a lot at times, meddling in other people's business, or becoming obsessed over the thing they decided to do. Like destroying her house, figuring out how the appliances work. But even so, she's a good person who's always down to help, even for the people she doesn't like. There's an episode where she helps a girl named Mindy, who kinda reminds me of Molly from How to Rock, just not as mean.
What do you want me to do? I didn't lose the ring. I want you to do your best. And I know you can do better.
She loses her mom's new ring, and CJ spends the whole day trying to get it back for her, even sacrificing her own ring to do it.
I swapped your mom's fancy ring with the ring that I was wearing. Then I dropped my ring down the drain.
I also like how her things, which are mostly based in good intentions, can still screw her over, like being forced to be the new school mascot or becoming the principal's sidekick. Something of note about the group's dynamic, for the whole show, they never hinted at anyone in the trio having feelings for one another, but in the season finale Heartbreak episode, they play with the idea of Crispo having a thing for CJ. To make a long story short, after seeing how devastated her brother Romby was after his breakup, the gang decided to get their hearts broken now so they can just get it over with.
What if we got our hearts pre-broken?
What are you talking about?
99% of first crushes will end badly. So let's just get ours over with.
This is so naive that it hurts. You'd be lucky to only experience heartbreak once in your life, let alone in middle school. That shit finna feel like the end of the world. After trying and failing to get his own heart broken, Crispo decides to have CJ do it.
What?
You need to be the one to pre-break my heart.
Are you crazy?
It's played for laughs, and Crispo's only really doing it for the heartbreak. But homie makes a genuine effort, and it doesn't help that her crush ain't shit.
Not into the chocolate milk. Brown milk, right?
What you mean by that? What you got against brown milk? What's wrong with brown milk? By the end of the day, CJ is conflicted. All season, she only ever wanted her 8th grade crush, until Crispo shows up, low-key being the perfect boyfriend. But now, she has a choice to make.
Will you get a smoothie with me?
I can't. What?
I think that hurt.
It was at that moment, as Crispo left hand in hand with Sylvia, that I felt that weird feeling that Crispo was talking about and... Oh no.
And just like that, everyone experiences heartbreak. And they even showcased it happening in different ways. I'm not sure if this ever would have turned into something, but this was a fairly engaging way to do it. But yeah, CJ overall was a solid character. Fenwick is a funny name. Like, what the hell is a Fenwick? What even is a Fenwick? Fenwick is my favorite of the three. At first, I thought he was gonna be the annoying know-it-all or some kind of cookie clone, but nah, homie is funny and is one of the best parts of the show for me.
Fear is our friend. Stops our brains from doing dumb things. Like petting lions, using public bathrooms. Where did you get this? Teachers are after my snacks.
And you know what they say? 4th time's the charm.
They? Don't say that.
We do.
I made a protective bunker. Now that's heroic.
Not heroic.
I'm heroic.
And though most of the time the guys are down for whatever thing is going on, Fenwick is usually the one that pushes back. Sometimes he needs some convincing.
Here, try one.
You know I hate things in shells. Nuts, eggs, turtles.
Oh, I know. But remember what today's magic word is. So again, would you like to try one?
Yes.
What do you think?
Fine, you win. It's the greatest thing I've ever eaten.
See? You never would have known you liked pistachios unless he said yes.
He's not as anxious as Cookie. I would say he's more of a team player. He can still be annoying at times. He's a bit of a whiner and hella arrogant for someone who's afraid of damn near everything. Like, this is the same dude who threw a tantrum over getting a B. This is also the same dude that found out that his grandma's cat died, and instead of just telling her, he decided to take it to school.
But why is it in your...
I panicked, alright? And I told her I was taking Whiskers to Pet Week at school. Walking to Pet Week.
And again, instead of just telling her, he decided to keep up the lie and put it on a remote control card to make his grandmother still believe the cat is alive.
He must have had so much fun at school.
It was magical.
Also, let me talk about Fenwick's Heartbreak real quick. Homie is going through it this episode. He asked out an upperclassman named Amy just for her to say no. After crying in Mr. Roberts' office, he comes back and basically tells her off.
But when I grow up, I'm going to Stanford to become an engineer and a gorgeous entrepreneur. Then create a startup. Then 5 startups. And where will football boyfriend be when he blows his knee out in the big game? Sitting in his cubicle as a low-level insurance salesman. Yeah. So enjoy visiting cubicle boyfriend in his cubicle and remember the day you blew your chance to ride in my 9 Ferraris.
She decides to give him a chance and breaks up with her boyfriend on the football team, which she never mentioned, by the way, sending him back to Mr. Roberts' office.
Oh, we're in here. Hey, Dale Stubbs, how's it going? Dale Stubbs.
This all culminates into her dropping both of them for another guy, which I can only assume is supposed to be a combination of the two of them.
I'm going out for a smoothie with Ty Cartwright. He's the captain of the basketball team and wants to be a lawyer.
Be yelling out, gang, gang. Do you gang bang?
Just for him to again end up back in Mr. Roberts' office, crying and eating ice cream. But yeah, Jaheim Tubes was dope. Homie made the most out of everything given to him. Crispo kind of reminds me of Logan from I Didn't Do It. He also kind of looks like that guy from Glee. I don't know his name, but I'll put a picture up so you see what I'm talking about. He's overall a fun vibe and always down for whatever things CJ has cooking up, but still pretty dumb and kind of annoying.
Get it! $100 spaghetti gift card! Rock and roll spaghetti!
Back the fuck off!
I mean, homie is so dumb, thinking almost made him shit himself.
Yeah, I just shit my pants.
What do you mean?
They're shit my pants.
Right now?
He's also dropped his friends for his own gang. He left him hanging when Mindy promised him spaghetti and when he was invited into the exclusive club. You could argue that this is all part of him being dumb and clueless because when it's time for him to show up, he's there. He's also a bit more self-aware than he lets on. In the group, Crispo is often the one without funds, leaving CJ and Fenwick to always pay for him. Even though they don't mind, he makes a point to tell them that it bothers him and he wants to pay them back. Crispo is considered one of the coolest guys in school and he has no idea. To add to this, there's a running gag that every time he raises his hand, he always gets a high five. Something of note, Crispo always had a side quest going on. Either it be him starting a group with the purpose of getting his name on a plaque, starting a war with the golf kids, homie even saved a cat in a tree just because.
I rescued a cat the other day and I may have burned down the Earth Day tree in the process.
What? That was you?
This is the same episode where he hides from the fire department because of the tree and spends the entire day in different disguises. And one of them was as a girl with a bob.
Your name POV, so they calling you Bob.
Crispo had a lot of funny moments now that I think about it.
Hello, new friend. Let's do this.
I don't even know why you're trying. My executive function skills are off the charts.
You're just trying to get in my head. But joke's on you, because there's nothing up there to get into.
One of my favorite moments of his was when everyone couldn't lie for a whole episode, so Crispo went the entire day just being brutally honest to everybody.
These cookies are disgusting. In fact, if a pregnant fly flew by right now, it would refuse to lay its eggs in these cookies. That's how bad these cookies are. Think you forgot the secret ingredient. Talent. It's like 12 wild elephants came into this classroom, jumped on top of this table, and took 12 huge
Crispo was a fun watch. I liked him more than I thought I would. CJ is the glue that holds the group together, but I would also say that Mr. Roberts plays a huge part in it. Low-key might be the backbone of the show. And for those of you with a keen eye, or ear in this case, he's voiced by Jack DeSena, the voice of Sokka from The Last Airbender. He's also one half of Chris and Jack, another great show. At first, I thought Mr. Roberts was gonna act as the new Gordy, and I'm glad they didn't do that. Honestly, he feels more related to Mr. Sweeney than anything. He has some comedic moments, but he primarily acts as the moral compass of the series. He encourages and supports them when they're struggling. He's bailed them out of trouble a few times. He's also let them know when they're flat out wrong and just doing the most.
You had $50 to make posters.
We made posters.
Return all this stuff. And turn in your sashes. Now!
Honestly, all the teachers were entertaining. Second to Mr. Roberts, I really liked Principal Hater. She's a good mix of being a foil to the students while still being fun to watch. Like, it's kind of funny. This is the same person who wasted a bunch of fire extinguishers in the hopes of breaking a fire drill record. But then also, when she catches wind of a fake scavenger hunt, she decides to uphold the rules because apparently she's the chairman of the Scavenger Hunt Society. Wait, is it chairman or chairwoman?
Chairperson!
Then there was the episode where all the kids had to spend the night at the school, and not only was she feeding them things to induce a food coma, she also got into it with CJ's mom.
Sorry, the doors are locked after 8 p.m. It's the rule.
Yeah, but she can't miss a night, so.
Yeah, I'm a doctor, so I know the importance of staying consistent.
I'm a principal, so I know the importance of there's nothing I can do.
You can open the door, and I could hand it to you.
Doors open tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. You can enter then.
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
You're watching 100 Things to Do Before High School, this series. Keep it here.
100 Things really surprised me. It was better than I expected. Honestly, my only issues with the show were some acting choices and line deliveries. The writing was fine, and I liked the overall vibe of the show. Yeah, it's just a fine show. I do think it is a little unfair to compare it to Ned Declassified since it only got one season. That said, I feel if you liked Ned, then you'd probably like this. On February 27, 2016, 100 Things would be canceled. There isn't really a specific reason why it was canceled, just a lot of speculation. Some say Scott himself wanted to move on to other shows. Others say it was due to low ratings. To which, I mean, it didn't have the biggest audience, but overall it was received pretty well. However, it did drop the same year as Henry Danger, and that got like 5 seasons and a movie. It also dropped the same year as Breadwinners, and they gave them niggas 2 seasons. I also read that it was all budgetary. Nick needed to cut costs, and 100 Things was on the chopping block. And seeing how shows are still being canceled left and right, I can believe it. The movie is currently streaming on Paramount Plus. As for the series, you're on your own. It's been almost 10 years since it dropped, and the actors have moved on to bigger and better things. So any kind of reboot or continuation ain't finna happen. It will go down as one of those shows that could have been. I thought 100 Things was a solid show, and if given another season, it could have blossomed into something more. But hey, you don't have to take my word for it.